was sort of walking around trying to think of what am I going to say and what shall I emphasize and so on. And I turned to him and I said to him, when you design a building, when you design the foundations, what are the principles that you use? And he said, first principle, you have to find out everything you can about the nature of the soil you're building on. And he went on for about an hour. And like questions like, how deep do you have to go to get to the rock? Is it slushy, slimy, sandy, on and on and on and on? Oh dear. But you know, it's a fairly useful sort of metaphor that we have to know as much as we can about each child. What experiences has this child had? Experiences has the child not had? The families and so on and so forth. So the first principle then is finding out everything you can about the soil you're building on. Then he said the second principle is you have to be very clear about what kind of structure you want to put on it. Is it going to be tall, thin, round, wide, long, short, so forth and so on. And that's rather interesting for us. Are we clear? And I got this from listening to Vivian and to just now and so on, that we have a lot of thoughts about what kind of structure we are wanting to build in the children we teach. What qualities do we want them to have now as well as in the future? And we need to know how to ensure that they will continue, for example, throughout life to seek important knowledge and understanding and so on. The third principle my husband gave me was you have to find out everything you can about the forces that will be acting on that structure. Will there be hurricanes or tornadoes or earthquakes? His main specialty was earthquake resistance design. And I think that's relevant for us, that we must talk about some of the important influences that impact on our children. And there is a note, a publication in your bag about the impact of technology, television, and so on. A lot of work is being done. I think it's really important, not only for us as teachers, but to help parents to get a sense of the forces that are and will continue to impact on our children. Finally, he said the fourth and last principle, and that was, if you don't build the foundation properly, it can be very dangerous and extremely expensive to repair. This principle reminds us that if we don't make sure that the early years are really good ones for children's development, it can be very expensive and maybe even not possible to make repairs. And I want to sort of end this framework with the suggestion that we must resist the temptation to start children on the third floor.